Hey, what's going on, everybody? I'm here to give you my TNA review for March 27th, 2015. The reason why, because it's going to be probably like the next day by the time I get this video uploaded. The reason why I didn't do the video earlier is because my mom was out here doing some schoolwork. So, yeah, that's pretty much the reason why. But let's see how this show is going to turn out because it looks like it's going to be the good show. We're going to get Hardy's revenge because tonight Jeff Hardy returns and he's going to be taking on James Storm in his six-sided steel cage match. Um, and we're going to get the TNA World Heavyweight Championship celebration of Kurt Angle. We're going to get Kurt Angle's championship celebration after the week he just won the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. So let's see how this show turns out. Alright, so we have Taz and Josh Matthews on commentary for this show. And the show kicks off with James Storm and Koya come out. And Koya had the Revolution flag with him. And if you don't know who's in the Revolution consists of Storm, Koya, the Great Sonata, Manic, and Abyss. And he had the Revolution flag on him, and he also had a watermelon out there. At first, I was suspicious on why he had it out there, but then it makes sense what happens later on. So James Storm talks about how the crowd can cheer Jeff Hardy all they want, but they're not going to get him because he took him out of lockdown. And then last week he took out his brother Matt Hardy. And then he says that Jeff Hardy always made his... He asked for the six sides of steel to be lowered because he knows for a fact that Jeff Hardy won't be there or something. And he talks about how Jeff Hardy made a career of diving off cages. And he said that he just did him a favor, except it just hurt this time. So then he drops the watermelon off the cage and it hits the steps, just like what happened with Hardy at Lockdown. And then Jeff Hardy comes out and he said, and Storm says that you're right, you did take me out, but he said that I'll never be able to walk the same again, but I can walk well enough to come attack you. So he's about to go attack him, but then Manic jumps him from behind, and James Storm says the Revolution's all over the place, and he says that there's always room for one more. I don't know what he really means by that. I keep thinking it means one more in the group, but I think what he's talking about is he means one more victim. And he tells Manic to break his arm, but he's about to do something to his arm, but Hardy counters and hits a twist stunner on him. And then Abyss attacks him from behind. He slams him into the steel cage, and then he goes to hit him with the chair, but Hardy fights him off and hits him with the chair. And then Jeff Hardy says he has no more backup, and he said, tonight I'm going to get my hands on you. And then he has the roof lowered down, like Lethal Lockdown style, when they have the roof lowered down and they have all the weapons up there. And you find out that that's going to be the main, well, I don't know if it's going to be the main event, but that's going to be a match on the show. It's going to be Jeff Hardy versus James Storm in the steel cage with the roof on it. And I thought it was good stuff. And then the BDC's backstage. Now it's just down to MVP, Kenny King, and Low-Key because Samoa Joe, well, they said that they lost the X Division title and they lost Joe, so they pretty much say they have to make a big impact. If you don't know by now, well, one, you're living under a rock if you don't know by now. But if you don't know by now, the real reason Samoa Joe isn't on this show is because he legit did leave TNA. So that's why he's not on. So it's kind of sad, I guess, because now there's no one to really fill the big man role with the BDC. But I'm actually happy to see Samoa Joe go because I hear rumors that he's going to be going to NXT. And I think that would be awesome if he went to NXT because then you can see like a lot of good matches of him facing off against Kevin Owens for the NXT Championship. We would just see a bunch of amazing matches. Sami Zayn, ooh, imagine him working with Sami Zayn. Hideo Itami, Finn Balor. Like, Samoa Joe would just really work well together with all these wrestlers on NXT. Like, I'm really happy Samoa Joe's going to NXT. But other than that, that's all that really happened on the show. So I thought this was pretty good stuff so far. Alright, so we get Rockstar Spud defending the X Division Championship against Low-Key. I thought this was a decent match. It was really just kind of low-key beating the crap out of Spud, but I think it works for him because he's like that underdog. And I really am enjoying Rockstar Spud. I like him better in this role than when he was the chief of staff. That was just terrible when he was the chief of staff. I didn't like it. But he hit low key eventually hits like the double stomp on like he hit on Spud, and then the referee's counted for like a knockout, and then Spud gets up, and then Rockstar Spud starts to make a little bit of a comeback, and MVP comes out. He distracts the referee. Spud's about to go for the underdog, but then he gets distracted by Kenny King, and then Loki attacks him from behind, and then Drew Galloway comes out. Comes out through the fans and distracts MVP and Kin. And then Rockstar Spud rolls up Low-Key for the win and retains the championship. And then he runs away with Drew Galloway. I thought this was pretty good stuff. I didn't really mind it. It was fine. Alright, so the Beatdown Clan, the BDC are in the win. And MVP says that Drew Galloway always talks about how he wants things to be done the right way. But lately you haven't been doing things the right way by interfering in my world title match with Lashley, by hitting Low-Key in the head off the pipe, and interfering in Low-Key's X Division Championship match. So he says that Drew Galloway can come into this ring and accept his beating, or they'll go through the audience and beat up all these flat scans out in the ring. So then Drew Galloway comes out, and he said that he's here to stick up for wrestling, and he says he's sick and tired of the BDC being shoved down our throats. And he says that when he was they could have just he said that he could have just sitting there and take it when they were beating him down a couple of weeks ago, but he said that he's got back and he's going to continue to fight. And he said that he's not going to be the voice of the stand-up movement, because he's talking about the stand-up movement. He has a T-shirt about it that says #stand-up. He's going to ask the audience. So he asked the audience if they like professional wrestling. They say yes. He asked if he's sick of seeing the BDC being forced down your throats, and they say yes. And then he asked if you want to see good, clean, competitive wrestling matches, and then he says yes. And then Kenny King says that all you have are these flat scans showing you and your army, but you don't have anybody else. Drew Galloway said that he's just gonna, and Kenny King tells him to get in the ring and suffer this beatdown by the BDC. And then Drew Galloway says we'll get in the ring, and Low-Key calls him off. Low-Key just wants to fight them by himself, and Drew Galloway agrees. And then Drew Galloway gets in the ring, and he gets into the ring with these two other guys. They come out from the crowd. I didn't really know who they were. And they attack the BDC and fight them off, and Drew Galloway and those other guys stand tall. I'm not really sure who these other guys were. We're probably going to find out either on this show or maybe next week, but yeah, I'm not really sure what those other guys were, but this was a fine segment. Other than that, I thought it was pretty good. If you know who they were, leave a comment on this video and tell me who they were. Something I forgot to mention is they played this awesome video package for Awesome Khan, hyping him up to face Taryn Terrell for the Knockouts Championship, talking about how she's going to take out everyone in her path, she's going to take out all the beauties, and then she's going to become the new Knockouts Champion, and nobody's going to stand in her way. It was kind of creepy. It was really awesome, but I just wanted to make sure I mentioned that. So, yeah. That was a good video package, though. Alright, so, we get Brooke. No, we don't get that match, actually. The BDC's backstage, and Kenny King and Low-Key are upset because of what happened with Drew Galloway and how he has this group now. But MVP's just like, relax. He has the numbers, and that's how they want to play. And then he says it's time to make the call. He's ready. I have no clue what this call is, but this is probably going to be like another heavy guy like Samoa Joe, because now he's going to fill the muscle role. And I'm completely fine with that, because it's just so weird that it's just them three. And I think they need like a muscle guy in the group, but that's just me. And then we get Brooke versus Awesome Khan. I thought this was an okay match. I mean, who the hell thought Brooke was going to beat Awesome Khan anyways? Awesome Khan just fucking dominates this match. The only time Brooke really gets her off her feet is when she went for the implant buster, and then she countered with a face buster, and then hit an elbow drop and didn't get the pinfall. And then she tries to go off the top again, and then Awesome Khan catches her into a choke slam, and then hits an implant buster for the win. And then she hits it again on Brooke, and then she puts out a table, and she's about to powerbomb Brooke through it, and then Taryn Terrell runs out, attacks Awesome Khan. Awesome Kong ended up bouncing Tarantua's head off the guardrail. And then they fight in the ring. Awesome Kong goes off the second rope and hits a drop kick on Kong. It does knock her off her feet, but not enough. And then she tries to charge at Terrell, but then she pulls the rope down. They continue to fight. Kong throws Terrell into the steel steps, and then she powerbombs Terrell through the table, and then she just leaves. I thought this was cool. Awesome Kong, I thought, looked like a badass here because she didn't run away from Terrell. She fucking stayed and fought her, and I thought that was awesome. And then Austin Aries gets interviewed, and he talks about how Kurt Angle deserves to become the new TNA World Heavyweight Champion. They're having the TNA World Heavyweight Championship defines your career. And he said that he enjoys the celebration. But then he says, well, there could be two celebrations tonight. And then he holds up the world title briefcase like he could possibly cash in. Then the guy asks him, are you planning on cashing in tonight? And Aries is like, is that a rhetorical question? So yeah, I really liked this stuff that just happened. It was good stuff. Alright, something I forgot to mention that happened earlier in the show. Earlier in the show, James Storm was talking to Koya, and he said that Manic and Abyss failed him to take out Jeff Hardy. So he wants Koya to go find Jeff Hardy and dispose of Jeff Hardy. Dispose of him. And he says that if he fails, James Storm will dispose of him. So then Jeff Hardy's having an interview about how he's going to take out the Revolution. And then Koya attacks him from behind. But Jeff Hardy ends up fighting him off. He beats the crap out of him with a ladder. And then he hits him off the head with a beer bottle. And then he starts to recover from it. And I thought that was kind of cool because I was making him look like a monster. So he kind of is starting to remind me of Rusev now, just by the way he kind of talks, just by the way he kind of grunts and stuff now. And then he hits him again with the beer bottle. And he gets up from that. I thought that was a little bit much. I think he should have been done after that. And then Jeff Hardy just grabs two of them and hits him hits Koya with both of them at the same time. So yeah, and Jeff Hardy kept telling him to stay down. So now Jeff Hardy's taking out Koya. So I guess it's just going to be them one-on-one because we haven't seen the Great Sonata all night. So yeah. And then we get Kurt Angle's championship celebration. Kurt Angle comes out. He talks about how it meant the world to him to become the new TNA World Heavyweight Champion. He said that this is one of he's held this title 13 times, and this is one of the best times he's held it. And he said that it had been 3 years since he's held the title, and after everything he's gone through in his career and in his personal life, this is the best moment in his career so far. And then he gets interrupted by Ethan Carter III, or EC3 for short, and Tyrus. And EC3 says that Kurt Angle deserves to be the TNA World Champion or something like that. And he says that he said it was also difficult to beat Lashley for the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. And then another thing that's difficult is being undefeated for 18 months straight. And he says that he's beaten Hall of Famers like Sting, Bully Ray, and also Kurt Angle himself. And he's pretty much saying he wants to become the new TNA World Heavyweight Champion. And then Bobby Roode comes out and says that if anyone deserves the title shot, it's him because that title was stolen from him and nobody deserves a rematch more than him. And he tells Kurt Angle that he deserves this moment, and he says he respects him. And he said the matches that they've had in the ring has been some of the matches of his career. And he said that this is all going to be it's a moment because I'm going to take that World Heavyweight Championship from you. And then Eric Young comes out and says that pretty much says that the title stops through him because he's going to stop EC3 and he's going to stop Kurt Angle and he's going to stop Bobby Roode from ever becoming the TNA World Champion. And Bobby Roode says, how many times I've beaten you several times in a match. How many times do I have to beat you? And then Eric Young says that it doesn't take beating me. As long as I'm breathing in and out, I am going to make sure that you never become the TNA World Heavyweight Champion. So then Eric Young says he's like the gateway to the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. And then Austin Aries comes out and says that he is like the gateway to the world title. And he says that they should let Kurt Angle have his moment and celebrate. And he pulls out a champagne bottle from his briefcase. And he says the question is, what are we drinking this for your TNA World Championship celebration or mine? So then Kurt Angle says that if any of you want to fight me for this title, I will defend this title against anyone at any time. So then he goes to leave, and then Lashley comes out and says he wants his rematch. And Kurt Angle says, "You want your rematch? We'll do it right here, right now." But referees and people backstage come out and pull him back. And then EC3 and Tyrus jump Austin Aries, and Eric Young jumps Bobby Roode. They start to beat him down, and then Mr. Anderson runs out. Then they start fighting, and then they just brawled until it went to commercial. So I'm assuming when it comes back, it's going to be Bobby Roode, Austin Aries, and Mr. Anderson versus EC3, Tyrus, and Eric Young in a 6-man tag team match. And I'm just going to make a guess that the face team is going to go over in that match, but we'll see. But I thought this was good stuff with Hardy and Koya brawling. Earlier then, I did think the thing earlier in the night with James Storm and Koya was cool too. And the championship celebration was pretty good. So I thought this was pretty good stuff. Alright, so I'm laying down right now. I'm getting tired, so I think this is going to be the last video that I make this portion of it right now, because I just cannot stay up to finish the show. Not that it's boring, but I've been in school all day, and I had to clean the house all day today, so I'm just kind of tired. So I was right. We got that 6-man tag team match with Austin Aries, Bobby Roode, and Mr. Anderson versus EC3, Tyrus, and Eric Young. Match was pretty good, but I am getting tired, so that probably hurt my enjoyment of the match. Let me think if I can remember what happened. The faces dominated EC3 for a while, and then behind the referee's back, Eric Young takes a cheap shot at Bobby Roode. He knees him in the spine, and then behind the referee's back again, Tyrus takes a cheap shot at Roode. They get the heat on Roode for a while, and then eventually Austin Aries gets the hot tag. He goes off on Eric Young. He's going to dive on him. Tyrus takes him out with a clothesline. And then they take each other out. Anderson takes out Tyrus. EC3 takes out Anderson. I remember what else happened here. Tyrus gets taken out by Roode, I think. And then Eric Young throws Mr. Anderson into the steel post. Then he goes to go off the top onto him, but Roode throws him off. And then Aries does a drop kick in the corner. Roode does a spine buster. Then he takes out EC3 and Tyrus. And then Aries is about to hit the 450 on Eric Young. But Eric Young moves out of the way. He gets him in the figure 4. And Austin Aries taps out. So the heels get the win. I was actually kind of surprised that they won, because I didn't think they were going to. And I'm surprised that Austin Aries ended up tapping out. So I thought this was a decent match, and I liked the finish, so this was pretty good stuff. But I'm going to bed, guys, so I'll probably be back to give you this video after I wake up, had breakfast, and taken a shower and all that. So, yeah, I'll be back after I wake up to give you the next portion of the video. Alright, so I went to bed. I got up at 1 o'clock, around that time, and then I had my breakfast. And then I took my shower, but I could not finish watching it when I wanted to, because my mom's doing some schoolwork in there. So I just finished watching TNA now, and yeah, I'm gonna do it now. I wanted to get it done at least before I watch the WWE Hall of Fame. So let's talk about TNA. I have my notes here. Let me just find it. Alright, so Bram comes out to cut a promo, and he talks about how Magnus is a coward because he attacked him from behind, and he says that he hides behind his family, and he says that his wife, well, Mickie James, is more of a man than he is. So then Magnus comes out and he says it's all just fair play because you put your hands on my woman, and you attacked me in the alleyway. I need him. Bram wants Magnus to come fight him, but Magnus says that he'll fight him in the ring, and I'll fight him everywhere pretty much. And then Bram talks about how after you left Lion and your woman's in tears, he's gonna leave your woman in tears. And then Mickey James says that I won't be in. There will be tears, but there will be tears of joy after you're beaten down. And then Bram says he's gonna beat Magnus down, and there's gonna be an empty house, and he's gonna leave you with his woman. So then Magnus comes out. They start fighting. Bram low blows Magnus, and then he pulls out the turnbuckle tool, and he's about to use it on Magnus, but then he grabs Mickey James again. He wants her. He's gonna force her to kiss his foot, but she doesn't want to. And then he's about to kiss her, and then Magnus German suplexes him and beats the crap out of him and beats him up with the turnbuckle tool. And I thought it was a pretty good fight. I really enjoyed this segment, and I thought it was good stuff. And then they play a video package for Jeff Hardy, hyping him up to for his match with James Storm. It's all the stuff times he's jumped off a steel cage. So then we get James Storm versus Jeff Hardy in the 6-sided steel cage match with lethal. It's like a lethal lockdown style with the weapons there. And James Storm immediately hits Jeff Hardy over the head with a trash can. And he pretty much dominates the first half of the match, and then Jeff Hardy makes a comeback. He hits the poetry of motion using a steel chair, and then he goes to do it again, but James Storm moves out of the way and he hits the cage. Jeff Hardy goes for a whisper in the wind, but then James Storm pulls him off and he falls and hits his face first on the turnbuckle. And then James Storm pretty much dominates the match for a while, hits him with chairs. He wedges a steel chair in the corner, which I think James Storm ended up going into. And then Jeff Hardy tries to make a comeback, but then James Storm hits an Eye of the Storm. Hardy kicks out, and then he hits a backstabber, code breaker into it, and then a last call super kick, all in that combination. And Hardy kicked out of that, and then Jeff Hardy hits a whisper in the wind, twist of fate, and a swanton bomb, but James Storm kicked out of that. And then James Storm low blows Jeff Hardy. He's about to go up off the top, I guess, to get the kendo stick, but then Hardy hits him twice with a trash can, and he uses the one of like the balls of the cage of the roof as a weapon so he can like kick him in the face. And then he hits a Hurricanrana off the top. And then Jeff Hardy hits him several times with a trash can lid. And then he hits him off the head with a cowbell, with the bullwhip cowbell that James Storm wins out. And then he hits the twist of fate again. And then he gets off the run, and then he does like a splash on a James Storm for the win, and Jeff Hardy goes over, and that's how the show ended. Jeff Hardy finally got his revenge on the Revolution, except for the Great Sonata because he wasn't there. Overall, though, I thought it was a pretty decent show. Well, actually, I thought Impact was pretty good this week. I liked the Knockouts match, and I liked the way they made Awesome Kong look. I liked the 6-man tag team match and Kurt Angle's championship celebration. I liked this match. I liked Hardy's revenge. Even though it was predictable he was going to get his revenge, but I still thought it was good stuff. And I liked the X Division match, and I liked the promo segment with the BDC and Drew Galloway. So overall, I thought it was a pretty solid Impact this week. And that's pretty much it, guys. Click right here to subscribe, and you can check out more content from me on this channel. And if you subscribe, you can also watch my other TNA reviews on this channel. So that's pretty much it, guys. See you later.